All right, shalom, Israel, shalom. Right, first and foremost, want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushai. Right, and if you're wondering what I just said, I said, I want to give all glory to the Most High God, whose name in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh. Right, his name is not God, his name is not Jehovah. Right, his name is Yahweh. Right? And then when I say Bahashem Hamashiach, Bahashem Hamashiach Wamalak Yahweh, that means in the name of the anointed and king Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is who the world innerly calls Jesus Christ, right? So his name is not Yeshua, right? His name is not Jesus. None of those things, right? Right. So it's your brother Kazak Magun of the Angels of Yahweh coming out of Chicago, right? I just wanted to, get up and do this video because what really sparked this video was yesterday I was at work. I was at the plantation. Us in the truth, we call our job the our slavery or our plantation because nobody really like going to work and us working. We just modern day slaves, right? Because we supposed to be ruling. We supposed to be ruling right now. But it is what it is. Everything is set up according to the ways of the Lord. But anyways, though, right? So I was at the plantation, and before we always have our startup meeting, right? And then so we got one of our big managers out there, one of our main managers, and he's basically going through a PowerPoint, giving us a rundown, on ways that the company is moving, right? And he was like, "I need everybody to pay attention because this is important right here, what I'm getting ready to say." And so I'm looking at the PowerPoint, I'm looking at the slides that he break it out. And the most important slide what he said was the most important, right? He said that due to the tariffs, right? Due to the tariffs and due to the tariffs and us, getting most of our product from China, right? And other outsourced countries, right? And having to pay those high price having to pay those high price percentage taxes on the tariffs, the company is going to be slowing down a lot, right? They're not going to be bringing in as much product as they used to, probably about half, somewhere around that. They only going to be bringing about half as much product. They're not going to be buying as much, so they said the people that, would be in charge of receiving the product, right, and bringing it in into the, said warehouse location, their hours will be cut, right? Their hours, they're no longer guaranteed 40 hours no more. Right. That's basically how he said. He was like, we can't guarantee y'all 40 hours. You know, so if y'all want, y'all 40 hours, then y'all gotta go to other departments at the when your work is over, and that might could guarantee your 40 hours. If not, you can VTO, go ahead, go home early, try to use your PTO, or some other way to cover for that time. So right there, it sparked in my head like, okay, it's finally happening, right? We seeing these things because the Lord Yahweh, right, Bashem Yahushua, right, he told us that all these things are gonna come to pass. That the world is gonna start moving this way in the last days, right? So like, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Let me pull this scripture up first. All right, let me share my screen. Right, so the Most High, he told us that these things was gonna come to pass. Right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, and verse 9. Right, he says, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. right? So before these things happen in the earth, the Lord tells us, what they are, right? He tells us what's going to happen. Who does he tell? We finna show you who he tell, right? Let's go to the book of Amos. Amos chapter what was that, 3 and 7, right? This Amos 3 and Amos. I'm gonna start at 6. It says, "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?" Right. So when the trumpet, back in the ancient world, you had men on towers called watchmen. Right. They would be watching, looking afar out, right, through a monoscope or through some type of or just with their naked eye, and they would be watching, for hours at a time, making sure that no danger is coming. And if they see danger, like another army coming up, or they see a storm or something like that, they will blow the trumpet to prepare all the people in the city so they can take their proper precautions, right? It says, "Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it?" Right? And that's a rhetorical question, because the Lord does all the evil in the city. You might think, "Oh, that's just the devil. That's the devil." Whoa, whoa. The Lord does evil, right? The Lord is the one who gives the devil permission to do what he does, right? And the Lord does the evil, right? God said he kills, he makes alive, he brings down to the grave and bringeth up, right? The Lord says, what is that in Isaiah 45:7? It said, I make the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Right. So it's the Most High that does all the evil that is happening in the world. Right. He snaps his fingers, and then his angels on the right hand side, or his angels on the left hand side, which would be demons. Right. They go and carry out, his orders, right? But this is what I want in verse 7. It says, "Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets." Right? So it said the Most High ain't finna do nothing without, warning us first. And who does he reveal his secret to, or what he's about to do? His servants, the prophets, the men that have the understanding of this Bible, right? And that are actually watching and looking out for the things that's coming to pass, man. So that we can warn the people that ain't really in the Bible. So we can warn the people that might not have all the understanding, right? It's our job as watchmen, spiritual watchmen, to do these things, right? So yeah, so the Lord let us know that these things are gonna come to pass. So like I said, I was at work, and they started saying that they was gonna cut a lot of people hours, and it's not no guarantee that you gonna get your 40 hours a week no more. You know, right now that was just one department, right? Then that's how it starts. It's just one department. But soon it's gonna be the whole warehouse, right? Because if nothing is coming in, then it's gonna be barely nothing coming out, nothing going out. So soon the whole warehouse gonna be empty. And I told one of my coworkers, I was like, listen, bro, one day, sometime soon, bro, all this shit finna be shut down and ain't finna be no work for nobody. And people they gonna start with just laying people off. They gonna start with just, like how they doing now, cutting people hours and all that. Then the whole company go shut down. And it's not gonna be nothing, it's not gonna be no revenue. And he said something that kind of intrigued me. He's like, yeah, a lot of people that's living check to check, they basically finna be messed up. They ain't finna have no no choice. And I was like, that's right. A lot of people that's living check to check, they not finna be able to, they back gonna be against the wall at that time, right? Especially if you live in check to check, right? And a lot of us, our people, blacks and Hispanics, we are living check to check because we oppressed, right? You got a lot of white people that's living check to check. You got a lot of low class Edomites, they live in check to check. They finna They backs finna be against the wall, and it's gonna look like them George Floyd riots again, man. It's gonna look like them George Floyd riots again. People gonna start looting. People gonna start robbing, stealing, doing all of these things, right? Um, what's the precept that I wanted to pull? Matter of fact, I'm gonna hold off on the precepts because I got article that I want to get into, right? Got an article that I want to get into. Not that. All right. Here you go, right here, right? So this is from MSN, right? Going in on the Trump tariffs, right? The title of the article, it says it's official. Trump's tariffs are damaging the economy, right? So Trump's tariffs are damaging the economy. This is what people say. And this from 9 hours ago. 9 hours ago. And they talk about they finna make America great again. No, y'all not, man. Right? So like I'm gonna hold off on the precept that's in my mind. Right. Um, it says it's official. Trump's tariffs are damaging the economy, and this was written by T. Spurlett, right? The ball Spurlett, however you whatever, right? So let's go down to it, right? And look at it, look at him. Look at him. Just a damn demon. He a damn demon, right? And look at the Trumps that he putting on. I mean, look at the tariffs that this the one that's affecting my job right here, China, right? 67%. But I'm happy. When I heard that, I said, all praise to the most high. This world is finna vanish and go down. And what are people thinking about? Our people thinking about the damn Diddy trial. They trying to crack the damn Da Vinci Code on the series on the Sinners movie, saying, "Oh no, it's about this, it's about that." Nah, see y'all tripping, right? It's like it's raining outside. But con, right? It says the OECD cut its forecast for U.S. economic growth in 2025 from 2.8% to 1.6%. Right, so it went down a whole what is that 1.2% on the projected economic growth for the U.S. economy, right? It says it cited President Donald Trump's tariffs, which had pushed the U.S. import rate to the highest level since 1938. Global growth is also set to slow. It's also set to slow, right? As trade tensions disrupt investment and inflation rises, right? The OECD said, right? So it says global growth is also set to slow. So if the world is not growing, right, all of these, these major companies and these governments that, get rich off of these major companies and these economies that sustain themselves off of these trades and embargoes and all these things, they're slowing down. And if they slowing down, the people that live off them, their lifestyle is slowing down. And that the people that eat off them, their meals are slowing down. So it's going to be, projected to be a famine. Prices is going to rise. People are going to grow more poor. Everything is going to become expensive, right? Everything is going to become expensive. It says the U.S. and the global economy are losing steam, and the key forecaster said President Donald Trump's trade tariffs were part of the reason. So his trade tariffs are part of the reason. So the Lord, had this man, get in office, and for some reason he wanted to raise the trade tariffs, right? For some reason he wanted to raise the trade tariffs, and it's backfiring against him. He wants to make America great again, but it's backfiring against him, saying that these other countries been scamming and robbing us, and that we should be overtaxing them basically, right? Let me go down to just Isaiah 19 and 11, right? It says, "Surely the princes of Zoan are fools," right? So who are the princes of Zoan? This is talking about. Right, let's go up to verse 1. It says, this Isaiah 19 and 1. "The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. The idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it." Right, so this is not talk about literal Egypt, right? This talk about spiritual Egypt, right? How is it spiritual Egypt? How do we know that America is also spiritual Egypt as well as Babylon? Because ancient Egypt had the Israelites in captivity, all 12 tribes. had them in captivity, right? Ancient Egypt was where the Lord, did the Exodus, and the Lord said He's going to do a second Exodus of the Israelites, right? In the spiritual Egypt, which is Babylon the Great, right? Also, look on the back of your dollar bill, man. It ain't that damn hard. Look on the back of your dollar bill. You see a damn pyramid on your dollar bill, and then on the other side you see an eagle, right? So this is damn near Egyptian captivity all over again. Let me just pull another precept to prove that, man. Right. This Revelation 11 and 8. Right. This Revelation 11 and 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. Ain't our dead bodies lying in this street? Don't cops kill us? Then they're you know, every day you see in cops, you see in another shooting of a cop, killing the black or Hispanic brother or sister or man, woman, and child, man. Right. You see that, our bodies is lying in the street of this great city, right? Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Right. Right now, they got Pride Month, that just shows that, this is Sodom, right? And Egypt, meaning where, we was, held in captivity because the Israelites was in captivity. That was our first captivity in ancient Egypt, right? And this is our last captivity, spiritual Egypt. It says where also our Lord was crucified, right? So Yahweh Shah, his image was most crucified here, right? His image and everything that he stood for. All of these, American religions, that then came from Roman Catholicism, right? You got all these damn man-made American religions over here. Mormonism, what is that? Baptist, um, Pentecostal, all these other religions and all these things, right? They on the mainstream over here, and they all pervert the words of Yahweh Shah, who is our Lord, right? Who the world may know as Jesus Christ, and they perverted His image, right? They turned him into a white man, project him to be a white man when he's emphatically, a black man with woolly hair, right? A dark skinned black man with woolly hair, right? So it's like they crucified him, right? So let's go back to Isaiah 19. All right. So this is spiritual Egypt, right? And this is the Lord is talking about America. It says, surely the princes of Zoan are fools. Who are the princes of Egypt right now? Your politicians, your governors, right? Your president is the king. He's the pharaoh right now. Trump is the pharaoh right now, right? And the Lord said, what? They are become fools, meaning they doing things that they think is smart, but the shit is destroying the economy. It says the counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh is become brutish because Trump, okay, he's making these decisions, right? But he got counselors in his ear that's telling him to do these things. Elon Musk, all these other dummies that Trump then surrounded himself with. He didn't fire a whole lot of people from the presidential administration and just brought in a whole bunch of dummies, brought in a whole bunch of yes men, right? And if you're surrounded by yes men, then basically they just gonna tell you what you want to hear, and they gonna let you fall into a ditch, and they gonna fall in right with you. It says, "How say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient kings." Right? It says, where are they? Where are thy wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know that the Lord of hosts have purposed upon Egypt. Right? So it said, where it's asking, these wise men that think they wise, right? Talking about Pharaoh, who is, your modern day Trump, right? Talking about these other politicians and these other men of high renown, like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and all these other people, and high-ranking businessmen, right? It says, where y'all wise men at? Y'all can't see that the Lord is doing this, that the Lord got His hand upon the land of America, upon the land of spiritual Egypt, right? It says the princes of Zoan are become fools, the princes of Noph are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof, right? Right, so they the stay of the tribes. This is where the tribes is being held. It says the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Right. So the Lord, he put that spirit upon Trump and his administration, right, to do these dumb things, to make dumb decisions and foolish decisions, ultimately because the Lord wants this place to crash down. And the Lord is not just go crash the place down. The Lord is go work strategically. The Lord is the ultimate movie director, right? He's the ultimate movie director, and he's going to make it, crash and burn slowly but surely, right? Slowly but surely, right? And it's not even going to actually be slowly, but it's just like a high heat slow cooker, right? At the same time, it's like high heat, but it's a slow cooker though. The way that this nation is getting ready to fall, and when it ultimately falls, it's gonna only take 1 hour for this place to be destroyed. But let's go back to the article before I read on in this chapter, right? So going back to the article on MSN, it says in its latest economic outlook released on Tuesday, the Paris-based Organization for the Economic Cooperation and Development cut its forecast for U.S. economic growth in 2025, pointing to the fallout from the administration trade policies. The 2.8% rate it predicted in March has now been reduced to 1.6, right? So they thought it was going to be good, but no, right? It says the OECD warned that these tariffs, which have pushed the effective U.S. import rate to 15.4%, the highest since 1938, were not only affecting U.S. growth, but reverberating across the global economy too, right? Let's see, continue. It says global growth was now projected to slow to 2.9% in both 2025 and 2026, down from 3.3% in 2024. The OECD said the slowdown in growth was concentrated in the US, Canada, Mexico, and China. Growth in China, the world's second largest economy, was expected to fall to 4.7% in 2025, down from 5% last year, and come in at 4.3% in 2026. As of May 27, a blanket 10% tariff applies to all goods imported into the US with some limited exemptions, right? It says a 50% tariff on imports from the European Union were paused until July 7 amid fast-track negotiations, while steep levies on imports from China have also been put on hold. Right. The OECD said these policies were eroding investment and disrupting supply chains. Right there. Right. It says they was eroding investment and disrupting supply chains. It says and stoking inflation. So what a lot of these companies, they finna raise their prices for things that you used to get for $5, they're gonna be $9 now. Things that used to be $10, they're gonna be $15 now. Right. It says, especially in the US, where price growth is now projected to approach 4% by the end of the year. So they not raising, ain't nobody getting no raises, but inflation is finna go up. People is finna grow more poor. People is finna be out here struggling more than what they is. And then you already trying to take away people's SNAP benefits. So it's like, it's finna be a lot of scrambling out here, a lot of starving, a lot of people fighting. It's gonna be a lot of looting, a lot of murders, a lot of killings, because don't nothing drive a person crazy than more than being hungry. Having an empty stomach, people is pushed outside of their right mind, right? But let's go back to this other article. I want to read this part again though. It says the OECD said these policies were eroding investment, disrupting supply chains, and stoking inflation, especially in the US where price growth is now projected to approach 4% by the end of the year. So soon, these supply chains, meaning these warehouses, right? These investors, they ain't gonna be able to afford their investments no more, and ultimately, they companies is gonna ultimately crash, right? They companies go crash. A lot of people gonna be out of work. Let's go to this article real quick. Then we go grab some more precepts. right? This is from MSN as well, right? So like it says, another major retailer announces being affected by tariffs and says it already hiked some prices, right? Hiked, right? Not just raised, but hiked, right? A hike is something you go up a steep hill to hike, right? So they got Best Buy right here, a major company, major technology company. And I believe most of their products come from China and Japan, the Oriental East, right? Best Buy is the latest in a line of retailers feeling the heat from tariffs as it announced a cut in its full year sales and profit guidance, right? So it said, we finna make a lot less money, right? It says the company now expects revenue between 4.1 billion and 4.9 billion, right? So they went down 0.8 billion. It says down from its previous forecast. CEO Corey Berry, right, revealed that price hikes on some items have already been implemented to counteract the increased cost. Though she kept mum, though she kept mum on which products are affected, so she didn't want to reveal which products was affected. But a lot of the products in there that they selling, you know, you probably could used to go get a laptop for probably like 150, $200. Now you're not buying a laptop lower than $500 probably. You paying half a band, half $1,000 for a laptop now, and iPads and other things like that, right? You doing these things. So let's keep going. It says the climbing cost of living and unpredictable trade policies are hitting U.S. companies hard. Best Buy joins the ranks of Abercrombie and Fitch and Macy's, who have also adjusted their profit outlooks due to tariffs. Right, so all of these major companies, right? These just a few to name. They all had to hike up their prices, right? It says who have adjusted their profit outlooks due to tariffs. Meanwhile, Elf Beauty has opted out of providing full year guidance altogether. So some companies they like, we not even go try to project our price hikes and what we expect to make at the end of the year. We're not even gonna do that because a lot of companies they giving up hope. They giving up hope. They don't want to. They don't want to. They didn't gave up, right? A lot of these companies, these gonna be their last two. They probably a lot of these major companies. You're gonna see a lot of them closing down within the next 2 years. Within the next 2 years, you're gonna see a lot of them. Right? It says Barry emphasized the need for Best Buy to remain agile amid these changes. Right? It says, let me keep going. She stated, what I really tried to work with the team on is not actually overreact to any given moment in time, but instead stay maniacally. It said, but instead stay maniacally focused on our customers, right? Best Buy's first quarter earnings report paints a challenging picture. The company's net income fell by 18% to 202 million, with revenue dropping from 8.85 billion in the previous year. Comparable sales, a key metric, also saw a decline of 0.7 year over year, reflecting a decrease in consumer spending on home theaters, appliances, and drones. Right. So they major revenue is from people buying these technologies. Because Best Buy is a technology company. It's a tech company, right? You go there to buy tech appliances, right? So it's a year by year they've been falling, man. But this is finna really hurt them. These tariffs, right? It's really hurting this company. It says, I want to keep going. Let me see. Hmm. Right. No, that's it on it, right? So a lot of these companies, right, they not finna be able to sustain the people that they got working for them. If they gotta hike up prices, right, and then they still gotta pay this vast amount of people for the work that they putting in, right? It's just going to come to a lose-lose situation, because if you hiking up prices, people are gonna stop buying, right? People are going to stop buying because you're no longer giving them the best buy. You're not giving them the best option of buying from you, right? So with those price hikes come a lot less shoppers shopping, right? And with that comes, Shalakia, and with that comes, a lot of stores being shut down, a lot of warehouses and distribution centers being closed, right? And ultimately, that's just what's going to happen. And a lot of people are going to be out of work, right? This is Isaiah 19, going back to Isaiah 19, right? I'm gonna start at verse 15. It says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, right, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do." So it's gonna come a time where all these major companies is gonna fall, right? And it's not gonna be no work. It ain't gonna be no work. It's gonna be like the Great Depression, but times a million. It's gonna be all around America, right? And it's not gonna be no work for nobody, meaning no imports, no, no, no jobs here and there, right? People gonna be starving. People gonna be looting and rioting. All these things gonna be coming to pass. It was a precept I wanted to pull in Jeremiah. What was that I wanted? What's that? Jeremiah 50. Mm, might be 51. Salaki. Right, this is Jeremiah 51 and 7. It says, Babylon have been a golden cup. This is speaking about America, Babylon the Great. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad, right? So a lot of these countries, they was dependent on America, right? And they took whatever America had to offer. They got in the bed with her, made the deals with her, all of those things, right? But now, the Lord is finna cause Babylon to fall, and all these nations, they finna be mad. They finna partake in the falling of Babylon by helping destroy it, because look what Babylon is doing to them. You make a deal with somebody and then they turn their back on you. You know, America been doing trade with China for years. Since its birth, America been doing trade with China and trade with all these other nations. That's how America became the great country it is today. But then now they want to turn their back on these other countries and turn their back on the European Union and all these things, right? They even taxing the European Union, who America is in league with, right? So, all the other nations, they finna be mad. It says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her. If so, she may be healed, right? If so, she may be healed. They're gonna try to pause the tariffs, put a hold on them to try to heal it, but ain't gonna be no healing it, because they're not gonna come to no agreement. Like I said, the Lord mingled a perverse spirit in the people that's running this country. It says we will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. They put the pause on the tariffs. They trying to give other countries a break and all of that. But Babylon is not going to be healed from this. The economy is going to keep falling. It says, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven. Right. So a lot of these people that's over here as immigrants that came here for a better life, they go leave and go back to their own country, because they go see that this place is being judged. It says, and is lifted up even to the skies, right? Let me go to let's go to the book of Second Esdras, right? Go to the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6. All right. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6, and verse. I'm gonna start at 20. I'm gonna start at 18. Right. It says, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. So this is the Lord speaking through the prophet. I believe. I mean, not the prophet. This is the Lord speaking through the angel Uriel to the prophet Esdras, right? Esdras or Ezra in the scriptures, right? It says, and the angel is telling him, speaking, the Lord speaking through the angel, that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. Where the Lord is going to get ready to start showing His hand, right? It says, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, right? Because all of this is to fulfill the affliction of Zion, right? We've been being afflicted for the past um over 400, probably since America got erected as a country, right? And even before then, even the 1400s, when Columbus and the conquistadors and the Spaniards came over here, and the French as well, right? Came over here and was terrorizing the Northern Kingdom, which are the Native American Seminole Indians, right? They was over here terrorizing them, right? And the Tainos and the Aztecs and the Mayans, right? And the what is it? What's the Indian tribe I'm thinking about? Um the Incas, right? All of them, right? They was over here getting terrorized already, and those are of God's chosen people, right? They of the 10 tribes of Israel, right? So our affliction, and then he brought us over here. He brought us over here. The first Negro slaves was brought over in 1619, right, in Jamestown, Virginia, right? And then he was also terrorizing the people, bringing slaves to Haiti, right? Bringing slaves to Dominican Republic and Brazil, bringing slaves to Jamaica, right? So that was the beginning of our affliction. Now we're at the end of our affliction, right? Where the Lord is finna get ready to destroy this country, right? And destroy the powers that be and put us on top, right? Because our punishment is finna be over, right? It says, and when the world shall begin to vanish away, not the world, not the planet, right? But it's talking about the age, this society is going to begin to vanish away. The end of the white man's rulership, right? The end of all the other, nations that's up under the white man that then closely cleaved unto him. Their rulership is coming to an end as well. It says, then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And let's talk about the understanding of this Bible in these last days. The Lord put the understanding of the Bible out in these last days. And then you got resources like the internet and YouTube on the internet, right? That brothers watch the videos and put up videos such as this one, to help other people get the understanding. That's the books being opened before the firmament, meaning it's open all throughout the world, and they shall see all together. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with the child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. Meaning the Lord is saying miracles are going to begin to happen, right? At the same time as this country and economy falling, right? It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, right? A sown places meaning something that's ran in order, right? When something is sown, it's in order, it's tight knit, right? It's running like a well-oiled machine, right? But what it says is going to appear unsown. It's going to be out of whack. It's going to go AWOL, right? It's gonna get out of order. It says the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Those storehouses, what are storage houses? Distribution centers, right? Walmart distribution, Target distribution. What is it? Michael's Furniture, um, Kmart. What else? What else you got? Best Buy, what we were just reading about. All these places go suddenly be found empty. Why? because the Lord then ripped the spirit off of this place of growth. He didn't rip the spirit of growth off this place. And now it's just going to be a spirit of decline, right? Because he wants this place to fall. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound which every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid, right? As we read about that, right? It says, verse 24, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. So, as I said on my previous video, friends, they was once cool. Y'all was friends. Y'all go fight like enemies because y'all dying from starvation. And don't nothing drive a man angry more than him starving, more than that growl from an empty stomach. It pushes you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. It says, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Right? Meaning the trade and all of the embargoes, they are no longer going to be coming in. They no longer gonna be coming in, right? It's gonna be a perverse spirit, and due to that, due to nothing coming in, right? Due to the springs going dry, right, and standing still and not running, right? That's gonna be lack of food, lack of bread, lack of water, lack of all these things, lack of natural resources, right? And that's what's coming. That's what's coming to America. Famine, destruction, people killing each other, friends fighting like enemies, right? Was it more that I wanted to get? Let's go to chapter 16. Yeah, let's go to second chapter 16. Right, this second Esdras chapter 16, verse 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Right? So Babylon, Asia, right? With Babylon, which is America, and Asia. Right? So you got America and China. They doing a lot of trade with each other. America and Japan, America, China, America, Taiwan, all these places, they doing a lot of trade with each other. Right? It says, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Right? So he's naming these places, right? And woe means destruction, right? Woe means destruction. So the Lord is going to destroy these places. It says, gird up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair, right? Clothes of sackcloth and hair are clothes of that in the ancient world they will wear for mourning, right? So he's saying, put on clothes that, put on the attire of mourning, right? Put on the attire of you being sad, right? Because why you gonna be sad? Because your economy is falling and your country is going to waste, right? Because the Lord is doing that. It says, bewail your children and be sorry for your destruction is at hand. And it's gonna start with the economy, how the Lord destroyed, even back then in the ancient world, the Lord destroyed Egypt, right? When he did the Exodus under the hand of the prophet Moses, right? Um, when he destroyed Egypt, he destroyed the economy first. Notice the 10 plagues, right? What did he destroy first? He brought the flies, destroyed the and brought the what is it called? The hail, and destroyed all the plant life. The locusts destroyed all the plant life. Ain't no plants being eaten, none of that. Destroyed the economy, the storehouses and all of that. Right? Destroyed the cattle. He destroyed their cattle with the with the hail falling from the sky and the murrain, right? And the murrain, the disease that he put upon their cattle, right? So like your hour of prayer, right? So he destroyed Egypt's economy first. And he's doing the same thing to America, destroying the economy first, giving them no hope, giving them no way to sustain themselves. And then he's going to actually destroy them and the land, right? And rain fire and brimstone on this land, as it says in the book of Revelation, right? Um, and also in the book of Isaiah. Salakia. It says, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Because when the Lord is doing these things, you can't stop it. Can't nobody stop the Lord from doing what He's doing. He the Lord. He the most high. It says, plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Can't nobody drive them away, man. right? Can't nobody drive them away, right? That's all that I wanted on that, right? Another thing that I wanted to go into. Oh man, should I save it? This is a long video. How long I've been going now? All right, I've been going 45. I want to get into some other things. Well, these gonna be quick. I'm gonna make these quick, right? Through the spirit and power, y'all by Shemel Shah. I'm gonna make these quick, right? So another thing that's gonna come, and I'm gonna just title this video, current events of what's gonna happen, what's coming to the world, right? Because y'all need to know what the hell coming to the world. You got a lot of niggas. They just wanna kick it and what they say, kick the bobos and bullshit every day, right? And just indulge in, whatever is happening in the world, right? But they're not really looking at the outside and really looking at what's actually happening in the world, just in their world, not the world, right? So yeah, let's go to this though, because another thing that's gonna happen in these last days, you're gonna have race wars coming, man. There's gonna be a lot of race wars coming. It's like, what's the precept that I want? Let's go to Zechariah 13. 9 and 13. Matter of fact, let's get these videos first, right? So these videos that I just saw earlier today on Facebook, right? This is the first video. It says a man is out with his kids in a sundown town right before sunset, right? So he out with his kids in a sundown town right before sunset. All right, let's click the video. It's like, yeah.
Get out my way. Get your ass out my way. Get your ass out my way. Get your ass out my way.
It's like you see the white woman. Let me see if it go right there. You got a white woman, right, with a damn Bulls hat on. Look like hillbilly trash. She's standing in front of him, in front of his car. Look like she on a bike or something. And she talk about how you get this car. I want to know what you did to get this car. And she gonna try to make a false statement saying that it's her car. That's crazy.
Man.
And she look like a damn crack addict. Look at her. Look. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit. Let me go back. Let me go back. Again. Right. And I was just telling the white boy, I was like, he was saying that, white people don't go through what black people going through. I was like, oh, well, why are these white people going through, and y'all going through, the Lord is starting to show his hand on y'all. Why are these white people getting plagued by opioids? The white man is going through an opioid epidemic right now. They got meth, they smoking crack, they losing all their teeth, their skin is bad. They look, she probably 28 years old. And this bitch look 55. This bitch look 55 and she probably 28 years old, man. Right? They going through a damn a drug epidemic. So like, let me grab a precept on that. Let me grab a precept on that, right? I ain't gonna pull it up. I'm gonna just read it off the phone. All right. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30. Because the reason why we went through the things that we went through is because the Lord put curses on us for our disobedience. But he said at the end times, the Lord is gonna put the curses on our enemies, right? This is Deuteronomy 30 and 7. It says, and the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Right? So the Lord, he's returning the curses upon the heads of our enemies, man. Right? They got to go through what we went through, right? And the ultimate form of them having to go through it is going to be end up being slavery. But right now, he hitting them with the little things. He hitting them with the opioid epidemic. Look at her, damn drug lean. Like,
Get off of me! Man, get out the way, man.
you see, he's getting terrorized. He's in the sundown town, right? He in the sundown town, and he's got white people surrounding his car. This man got his hand in his jacket like he got a gun on him or something, right?
I am looking at
And if you don't know what a sundown town is, a sundown town is a town where basically if you was black or Hispanic, you couldn't be caught outside after sundown, or they had, every right to lynch you and kill you, do whatever. If the white man caught you outside during while the sun is down, you had to be inside before the sun was down. So you see they standing in front of his car, they on bikes. The brother should have just ran them over.
turn on Sprague.
He calling the police though. He being
Yeah,
a
I'm
model
at
citizen.
the intersection of Sprague and lock your door. Sprague.
Then you got this dirty, crusty
Yeah.
Edomite. He coming trying to open the door.
This is her car. This is not her car. This is not her car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. This is not her car.
See that?
This is not her car.
Dad.
He got his kids with him.
Hey.
Oh, Dad. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my. Oh no.
Get out of my way.
That's what he should have been did.
Go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god, oh my god. Dad, Dad.
Got the Edomite riding on the hood of his car like damn Dukes of Hazzard.
I can't see anything. They're using bikes to hit my car. They're trying to open my door.
Yeah, Mission
I got
Impossible.
kids in the car with me. My name is Lee Alex. I drove off because they're hitting my car and I feel threatened for my life. They said my car.
They still hitting his car.
Yes, I am. I'm headed Weststone Spring. Weststone towards McDonald's.
Oh my god, no, Dad. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dad, the door. Daddy's on a motorcycle.
Yes, sir. Yes, I got.
Listen to how terrified the brother Kids is, man. Listen to how terrified the brother Kids is. They being chased by another white man on a motorcycle. It's crazy right here. It's crazy, but that's just how the video ends, though. So you got things like this happening in the world today, and they thinking that, this place is gonna be healed, and this video right here even worse. This video right here is crazy, right? Let's go to this one. This happened, in Indiana. So like, back and forth, man. All right, so he got a black man. He looked like he got an earpiece on. He a truck driver or something. Just probably stopped in the bar, have a couple drinks while he on this. He probably stopped at the bar, had a couple drinks while he on this 32-hour reset. But look at the bar you going into. You gotta be aware, and you niggas, y'all gotta be aware of the signs of where you going. Cause if I walk in anywhere and I see this, I'm walking right the fuck back out. I see a Trump sign and all of that. I'm walking right out. Like, why you feel comfortable in this place? It's the damn biker gang bar. And I'm like, hell nah. Hell, y'all niggas, y'all gotta stop being simple, man. Right? Y'all gotta stop. Let me grab a precept on that. Niggas gotta stop being simple. All right, let me go to the book of Proverbs chapter 1. All right. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to this. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, right? Better one. Chapter 12 and verse 10. Just grab a couple more and I'm close out. Gotta get ready for the plantation. Right. Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right. So you can't never trust your enemy. Right. First of all, with the first video, why is you out there in the damn, it's a damn sundown town and the sun is getting ready to go down? Why is you trusting that you could do this in that land, in that city or whatever? You got to know that some of these people that sundown towns was still a thing in the 70s, and a lot of these people was growing up in the 70s, and they still alive today. So what the hell gave you the comfortability? See, niggas think that the world didn't change, that this is no longer racial America, racist America. No, this is still racist America, nigga, and you need to wake up and understand that this place is still that. It says, never trust thy enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And iron is a metal that surely go rust. It may not rust today, it may not rust tomorrow, but you hit it with a little water, that shit go rust. It said, and just like that, the white man wickedness is just like that, right? It may not show today, it may not show tomorrow, but it's definitely gonna show one of these days. And why the hell is you giving it the damn opportunity for it to show on you? Make that make sense, man. Make that make sense, right? Let's go back to this though. So, like I said, you see yourself, you walk into a damn bar and establishment, you seeing Trump signs and all that. I'm walking right the hell out, and look, he trying to sit there and act comfortable and all that. And this biker gang, they call it the Outlaws. You see on his jacket. On his jacket, it says the Outlaws, right? Indiana, right? It got outlaws. They got outlaws in Chicago. They got outlaws in Joliet. Outlaws in Indiana. This is a biker gang, and they notoriously racist. Why is you in a bar? They
Look the snap ready.
Look, the white man get look at all these damn Bud Lights on the table. They get filled up with all them damn Bud Lights, and they ready to hang a nigger. And you just happen to be the nigger in the way. Like, come on, Jake. Y'all gotta realize, bro. Y'all gotta smarten up and tighten up, man. Why you didn't go to a bar where your own people is at, bro? Come on now. This. Let me keep playing. I'm gonna keep playing it. Now they picking arguments with him.
Hey, you pay your tab. You pay your tab.
Now they fighting. They jumping them. You see somebody in the background said, beat that nigger. And they hitting them with cheers and all that. Hitting them with cheers. He can't even get up. They sticking him, stomping his head. Beat that nigger up. They stomping his head, kicking him in his mouth. This man trying to choke him. You see what this going on, man? You don't be going to no damn bar and it's all white people in there. I don't even feel comfortable around white people for real. I don't, man. What's the precept I was just thinking about? Let's go to Isaiah 13. And then I'm gonna grab one more, and then that's gonna be it for this video. All right, Isaiah. I think it's Isaiah 13 and 14, what I want. All right, this is Isaiah 13 and 14. It says, and it shall be as the chase roe. A roe is a deer. When you chase a deer, or when you watch Animal Planet, and you see a deer being chased, right? What does the deer do? Does the deer run off by itself? No, the deer is going to run toward the herd. It's going to run to the other deer. or the wildebeest. The wildebeest is going to run to the other wildebeest when it's being chased by that lion. The zebra is going to run to the other zebras when it's being chased by that tiger, right? So that tell you right there that the beasts, they know where their refuge is. With the other beast that's like them, it's not gonna run off by itself, right? It says, and as the sheep that no man taketh up, right? They shall every man turn to his own people. Every man needs to turn to his own people. Why is you trying to kick it with white people in these last days, man? And you damn black at Ace of Spade, blacker than Ace of Spade, man. He said every man needs to turn to his own people. Kick it with your own people. It says, and flee everyone into his own land. Why is you in the land? You in damn you anywhere where that is, you in damn Crackerville. You in the damn Hicktown. The brother with his kids in the car. Y'all in the damn Hicktown. Why you couldn't go? Why you couldn't go, go somewhere else and shop and take your kids? Why the hell is you in the damn sundown town? Almost at sundown. Where racist hunkies is at, racist drug addict hunkies. Right? It says everyone that is found, meaning everyone that's caught out there. Right? Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. What is thrust through? Meaning stabbed, killed, destroyed. And everyone that is joined unto them, meaning if you join it unto these people, if you join it unto the heathen, joining unto the white man, joining unto the Arab man, right? It's something happened, they gonna blame you. Because you're the only one different. It said everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So if you're trying to hold hands with the other nations, you gonna die. The Lord gonna make sure of it. Because you're trying to love the heathen. You're trying to love the heathen. Right? But the Lord, he's gonna bring forth the spirit of a race war, right, in these last days. I see a lot of people sharing that latest video that I just showed with the brother getting jumped, and they saying that, hey, we need to rise up and do something. We need to go there to Indiana. We gotta take action. You niggas is not ready for no damn war, man. Yeah, we go knock a couple crackers out, we go do all that. But these crackers, they got something different that we don't got, right? Unless you got the Most High God on your side, which a lot of you niggas don't, because y'all don't keep the commandments. I'm seeing what y'all saying, all of that, but you gotta keep God's commandments, right? Of course, we could physically overpower them, but they got the government on their side. Remember that. They got the government. They got politicians on their side. They could pull strings and have you locked up and twist the whole. All of a sudden, the damn video footage just get deleted and just come up missing. And now it's just your word against theirs. And who word they finna take? The crackers' word, right? That's why you gotta wait on the Lord for these things, man. Because the Lord, he gonna put that spirit of a race war on the earth, right? And at that time, he gonna be with us, right? This is Zechariah 9:12. This will be my last one. It says, "Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with." It's like, I'm gonna go up. It says, "Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope." Who are the prisoners? We the prisoners, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We in the land being imprisoned by the people that's holding us captive, the white man and the other nations. Who we got turned to the stronghold? Who's the stronghold? It's saying in the book of Psalms that the Lord's name is a stronghold, a strong tower, right? His name, Yahweh, right? We need to turn to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, in these last days. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee, right? When I have bent Judah for me, talking about the southern kingdom, and filled the bow with Ephraim, talking about the northern kingdom, the Hispanic tribes, right? And raised up thy sons, O Zion, all of us, against thy sons, O Greece, right? The sons of Zion is the black, Spanish, and Native Americans, the Israelites. The sons of Greece is the white man, the Edomites, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man. So he's going to raise us up against the sons of Greece and make us as the sword of a mighty man, right? Meaning what? We go thrash them through, man. Right? We go thrash them through. That's gonna be the time of a race war. And all that is gonna come to pass. Yahweh Shah spoke about it in Luke 21:10, Matthew 24, and I believe 7, right? Yahweh Shah spoke of these things. Salakia. right? So with that being said, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Lord willing, you was edified. Lord willing, you paying attention to what's happening in the earth because prophecy is happening, right? And I want to say shalom, Israel.